Right.
Yes. Hi.
Worked. Worked.
We made it. Oh, how are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
Really good. It's a rainy day here, so I have candles and all these lights around me. It's super cozy.
Oh, nice. It's super warm
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it's warm there. Yeah. Are you just at home?
Just at home.
Yeah. You've been traveling so much this summer, though.
I know, and I'm traveling again on Friday.
Wow.
Italy.
Wait, where are you going Friday?
Italy.
Italy. Amazing. Wow. And you were just there teaching Shinpuden there as well.
Yeah, I was doing a retreat there in June, and then after that, I was in the south of France, and so it's been a good summer. So far, so good.
And it started with a bang, with amazing times in Iceland with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, you had quite the start to the summer being in Reykjavik with our beautiful new and emerging Shinpuden community in Iceland.
Yes, I loved it. It was so good. What a beautiful place too.
I know. I'm so happy to have been able to share it with you, and yeah, hopefully we'll have you back sooner than later.
I will.
Yeah. So exciting. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to be here with you today. And I mean, there's so much that I feel like we can get into, but one part of my recent time with you that I really, really carried with me was the inner teachings around cultivating water and fire
Mhm.
through Sanmitsu, these Reiki practices of harmonizing mind, breath, body, speech, and coming into coherence and clarity through our bodies with our intention and directing our focus with precision so that we can emanate our light in this infinite capacity that we have, that we all have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is so important because I think sometimes when we think about spirituality or something, we think we have to zone out somewhere there, but it's
Yeah.
actually really inside the body. And in a lot of these traditions like yoga, inner bliss, or in Buddhist teaches inner joy or also inner bliss. And this inner bliss is quite interesting, I find, because when we look at the kanji of Reiki, we see something very exciting in a way. And what we see is that in the country of Ray, we see rain.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's outer rain, like just a normal rain when it's rainy. But for me, it's really, first of all, it's universal rain. And what is that? We touching the whole universe all the time already, 100%. We're just not aware of it. I
Yeah.
was speaking to someone the other day and he said, yeah, someone told me Reiki comes from up there and then they call it universal energy, but we are the universe. Right? So, and then that rain in reality on a hidden level. So in a lot of these teachings, you have outer level, what is we could say is wet rain, inner level is universal rain, and then the secret level is the rain inside of our own physical body, what goes through the central channel. And
Yeah.
when that starts to happen, to make that rain happen, we need this fire, right? So fire on the outer level, really, we can see is the sun. So the sun hits the
Mhm.
earth, mist comes up, it starts to rain. It's this wonderful cycle we see in nature. However, we're not separate from nature. We are nature. So like
Mhm.
Mikasui, when he went into the mountains, it was not like making a connection to the mountains. So he was realizing, oh, I am nature. I am this rain and this fire. So the fire really is that inner fire, what we have at our hara or tanden or danten, whatever word we use. And so that fire we can see also in the kanji of ki,
Yeah.
hidden, we look for it. So we have this fire and this water. So if we write Reiki, Rei is the rain, comes down, and then we have this fire.
Mhm.
Quality of rain is going downwards, right? It's not
Yeah.
going up. and the quality of fire is going upwards. So when they meet, sometimes people think then, oh, but the water is taking the fire out. But that's not really true, particularly at secret level inside our body. That rain is a little bit oily, you know, like a little bit oily, like your skin. Something.
Yeah.
And when oil hits the fire, you're in a fire, then that fire can go more up, and then the oil goes more down because it melts this frozenness.
Yeah.
You can frozen water. And so they both actually stimulate each other.
Yes.
And we see this also in Taoism. We have to, in a hexagram, for example, we have to really see this, that we have to put the fire below the water. Normally, the fire is above the water. So the fire is here, right? When we get worried and angry, we can see this. Here behind me is the Reiki precept. And we can see the precepts. And when we get angry and worried, we can see it. Our face becomes red, and we go like, oh, when this fire gets out of control because it has no groundedness, it has no solid base.
Yeah.
And so when we do these deep breathing practices like Joshin Kokuyo, Seisin Kokuyo, Hatsureo, the system of Reiki, we really fanning that inner fire with this deep breath. But we have to do this, we have to use the diaphragm. So when we do a nice deep breath in the belly, it's a little bit in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath. It's this fanning, the bellows.
Yeah.
When that inner fire becomes really, really good, it starts to go up your central channel, and then it hits this frozenness here, and then it starts to go down. So we have this beautiful mix. We can even call it yin and yang, heaven and earth. It doesn't matter. In this fire and water.
Yeah. This is so beautiful. And I love how you're bridging the connection between Taoism and the teachings of Reiki, because, you know, they're different traditions and different lineages, but they're very similar. And I really like the way that I teach and the way that I share and really understand the teachings of Mikao Usui is very connected to the way that Taoism is understood, with these universal principles of heaven and earth and yin and yang. And I read somewhere, it might have been from one of these amazing quotes you share in your email newsletter. And it was, I don't remember who exactly said it or where it was from, but it was that Reiki moves by way of the infinite circulation of yin and yang energy.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, it's just being in harmony, right?
Yeah.
Again, when this yin and yang, ultimately before yin and yang, there was Tao, right? Or before heaven, this wide open spaciousness, and out of this came these two, and then it's shattered even more so. And then sometimes we can call it the 10,000 issues. But we see also the same, for example, in some traditions, for example, in the Himalaya, they call it blazing and dripping. So it's that blazing of that inner fire and the dripping. And I think also we can see it, we are about 70% of water, right? So if we're so frozen with our anger, with our worry, with our fear, with these labels, and particularly the frozenness of I, me, mine.
Yes, exactly. These attachments that we have. And when you teach, you often talk about like dissolving that ice cube, and we're like frozen and tight in this way. And I feel it even just now. You know, I woke up feeling a little bit tired, and I actually just took a bath, so I should be feeling a little bit more soft. but I still notice that my body is like holding on to this tightness. Just I didn't have a great night's sleep, and you know, I've had a lot of travel and movement. And I'm just noticing now, like, okay, if I take a moment now just to tune into my breath, and just to have this diaphragmatic breathing, the Joshin Kokyu Ho, and to really bring that awareness to the central channel and just be with that, and to expand and deepen my permeability, to allow myself to be permeated by these energies of water and fire moving through at all times, then this stagnation just naturally goes away on its own. And it's not even that it's like being released or cleared. It's just that we're remembering what is actually really there, and the brightness of what is within actually just melts it from the inside. And this is such valuable wisdom, and so important for us to recall this now, when there's so much external stimulation and so much information around us of, here's the solution, you should do this, you should do this. And it's, well, what if you just do the most simple practice of all? Like, that's why I love the teachings of Reiki. It's, you know, it's intricate and it's beautiful and it's so sacred in all these ways, but it is so simple and it supports everything. And I just notice in, you know, now having done my second Shimpiden, and just really, you know, living these teachings to the best of my ability every day in this moment, just for today, you know, one step at a time, how much it truly does just shine into everything that we do, even just in the interactions we have with our family and everything, just noticing, okay, this is actually a moment in which I could support this person, whether it be my stepfather or my mother, in a conversation of, oh, wow, this is actually a moment where I can remind them that they don't have to work so hard in releasing the past. What if you just remember the light that you are inside, and that then brightens and attunes and sharpens and refines everything around you?
Yeah.
And that's so much more liberating.
Yeah, I think we're constantly also trying to be so busy with things. You know, we want to clean up this and clean up that. But for me, actually, when we look at the word healing, it comes from wholeness. And what is that wholeness? Is your true nature, this open spaciousness, this freedom, this inner luminosity, whatever we call it. And I was just, I'm doing an online event tonight after this, but for the students, a virtual practice evening. I was just looking at Zen master, and this particular female Zen master said, oh, you have to release everything to your foundation. And she calls it foundation. But what is this foundation? It's your true self, right? It's your essence beyond past, present, future, beyond need to do this or that. Really completely letting go of everything. We're just relaxing that open spaciousness. And that's in reality, when we're so like this, then we're constantly busy doing things. But when we can relax and we have melted that, and it's a very interesting thing, because I think it's very difficult to comprehend. And the reason is because it's so bloody simple that we don't believe it. And it's so close that we don't see it. You know, we're touching the universe 24 hours a day, and yet we feel so disconnected from it.
Mm-hmm.
So when we can tap into that, when we can realize this, like then just sitting, we can maybe even feel that inner fire, and we can maybe feel this water all doing its thing by itself without the need to do something. And then for me, it's like breathing. Breathing is something natural, what we have. And when it starts to happen all by itself in the natural way of things, then we're almost free of need to do something and need to heal something. Or I was thinking about it the other day, because I was making some little videos, or making these videos at the moment.
Yeah, I love them.
So just these really brief little videos. So what should I do next? Well, let's do next. And I was thinking about this one subject. And when we often say, oh, I want to receive something for healing, or to receive this energy. Yeah. And I think, hang on, Frans, if I say this, I'm actually saying that I'm lacking something. Something I don't have, so I need to receive it. And often we receive it, we think we have to receive it from outside of ourselves. I need to receive healing, I need to receive energy, I need to receive love. But what if we are love? Yeah. If we are whole, what if we are already healing? What if it's already here, instead of constantly looking and almost, I think even some people, it's almost like begging. You know, we're begging for healing to come from somewhere outside. Yeah. And in reality, what we're saying, we are not enough. We're not whole. And yet, our essence is already whole. Yeah.
If you're receiving healing, that you're going to, like, you know, there's going to be something transmitted to you that comes from the outside But
Yeah.
really it is, and this is what I love so much about the teachings of Reiki and Taoism as well, is, you know, this concept of polishing the diamonds, and this being, you know, the dantians, these, you know, fields of elixir, the energy connecting us to heaven, earth, and our human aspect through the heart, that really these practices of energy cultivation, which we call in the teachings of Reiki, the Sanmitsu practices of harmonizing mind, body, and breath, speech, that this is what we can do to cultivate and clarify and refine these diamonds of light,
Yeah.
that connect us and bridge us to all of life. And that when we are clear and our light is shining brightly through these points of energy in our being, that this is when we are living our wholeness, and
Yeah.
that we always are whole. We always are, but there's just sometimes these clouds of stagnation. And this is spoken in Chinese medicine too, of, you know, clearing stagnation. And this happens on a vibrational, spiritual level too, of these illusions that we have. On the spiritual healing level, it's that we're clearing the clouds of stagnation of over-identification, illusion, stories, patterns, mental programming, karma as well. If you want to take it to like a way spiritual level of the beyond types of karma that we accrue over lifetimes, I'm very interested in that. But also just the energetics that we hold with us based on our lived experience now, of, okay, maybe I'm carrying shame around this, or maybe I have worry because I'm not sure about this outcome. Okay, when you devote to your practice and come into your devotion, and you remember who you are, what you are, which is just infinite light shining out in all directions,
Yeah.
deeply permeable to the forces and energetics of heaven and earth, imprinted by the wisdom of the celestial bodies, being permeated and receiving the information from that, and as well receiving the information from what's happening in the cycles of the earth, really, really deepening our sensitivity and our permeability so that we can shine our light through the heart, through our true mind and our physiology in the most beautiful emanation possible, which is infinite light.
Yeah, I think when we start to slowly soften this grip of I, me, mine, and then in some of these beautiful traditions, there is no coming and going, there's no receiving and taking. There is just to be and rest in this openness. And I
Yeah.
think the more we can tap into this for ourselves, to realize it, of course, in the mind, right?
Yeah.
Because this grip we hold on so tight on the mind, when we can relax into this, suddenly we might feel, oh, for example, what we can call the cosmic orbit in
Mm-hmm.
Chinese practices. We might go, oh, actually, it's already happening, and I haven't even intended it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or I might feel this emanation happening. I haven't even done a ritual or a practice or intended it.
Mm-hmm.
We start to actually see that the intention becomes softer and softer and softer, because most of the time we often say, oh, I need to set an intent. Of course, in the beginning, we definitely need to set an intent. I see it a little bit like on the Reiki precepts, we see kindness, compassion,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm not kind, so I need to, Frans, please be kind, be compassionate. So I need to set an intent.
Yeah.
But what if I keep practicing and practicing, and I'm just going to be kind all the time and kind, compassionate all the time? Then there's no need to set anymore. Why? Because just like the sun, it's just is shining
Mm-hmm.
without any specific intent whatsoever. And
Mm-hmm.
so then we really realize we embody it in all we do today, and it feels like it's emanating through every single pore, or maybe even feels like that your body has become so light that it feels like.
Yeah, this lightness. I mean, in the yogic teachings, there's often spoken about this lightness of being, or this
Yeah.
exquisite lightness of being, and we've spoken about this before. And you know, lightness. Okay, it's the same word of light, of feeling light, right? When you feel like so light, that's
Yeah.
because you are actually fully attuned and embodying the light that you are, and that is shining through, and it just attunes everything. It calibrates your entire system from within. So when
Yeah.
you remember the truth of your true nature, your inner being, that bliss, that spark, that emanation comes from the center, from the hara and the heart, which, is really, the same energetic system right there through the central channel. And it just shines outward and it attunes everything. And every cell in your body is vibrating with this exquisite lightness of being. It's your light. It's your rainbow frequency. It's this water, fire conduction taking place. And when you think about, the water and the fire, the light that creates, that's so sacred and so powerful. And we strengthen ourselves. We become so strong the more that we practice, and we become more resilient as well. And of course, we're human, and that's part of the path. But the more that we practice and the more that we deepen with ourselves and cultivate these energies, anything that comes our way, it doesn't take us off center. When we are truly in coherence through the center of our being, this is this, this cross point of infinity. It's like the eye of the storm. You're in it, and life is moving around you, but you're in that vastness. So what can touch you? Just the light.
This is why I like the concept of light. There's in my apartment now, there's lots of light because it's very sunny now. But no matter if I take super glue, the best super glue in the world, and I stick it on a piece of paper on this thing I have here in front of me, like a coaster, and I put super glue on it, the best glue in the world, it's not sticking to light whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or with light, then nothing sticks. Yeah. So sticks, then no anger, no worry, no fear. And the quality of light is openness, spaciousness, love, compassion, kindness. Mm-hmm. And you can embody that. And imagine if everybody, single being, embodied this. We have world peace. Yeah. Area, if we think about it. Yeah. We had world peace and we try to fight it in a way. But first of all, I think it's an individual concept, automatically related with an outer concept. But first of all, we have to really go within to stoke that inner fire so that tight water, this frozen water, can melt. And then, what is that frozen water again? Anger, worry, frustration, fear, attachment. Mm-hmm. I, me, mine. And ultimately,
I, me, mine. Dissolving that. And I love when you teach, you say dissolving the edges around I, me, mine, and these attachments that we have, because they do really create edges. And I think a lot of what the anger and worry and fear and projection and distortion that people create for themselves and generate from the false mind is coming from these unnecessary attachments of I, me, mine. And it's this forgetting of the open spaciousness and the vastness, the infinity of what is available to us in every moment, every second. And I just think of somebody who's like deeply frustrated and just like I can't do what I want to do. And they just like embody this frequency of just like, there's like this tightness. And, you just think I'm like, Ice Cube energy. Like, it's like very, very palpable in that way. It's so interesting. And you can just feel like they don't have any space around them. There's this tightness and they're just like locked in like this. And it's like, oh, okay. And, everybody has this instinctive knowing, okay, take a deep breath, come to your center. Like we've all been taught this, or, most of us have been taught this is like a healthy thing to do as a person. But the more that we actually create structure and devotion around our embodiment of this, through our practice, through our Reiki practice, our devotion and our meditation ritual, our practice, it starts to happen so much more naturally. And then these moments of frustration and irritation or stuckness, they happen so much less. And when they do happen, you notice, okay, here's this part. Let me just allow myself to feel it. Yeah. I always like to say with my clients is, okay, if you feel this coming, just put your hand on your heart. And I say, like, put your hand on your heart and your higher heart. So it's, connects more to your throat, and you can just really just breathe with that and excuse yourself from the conversation or go to the bathroom if you need to, and just give yourself 90 seconds and just allow it to completely permeate you. Just allow it to take over. And then after about a minute or two, okay, that was fun. Next. It's like you move on. You move on to the next thing.
I think, like sometimes when I like this, you've heard me like this phrase of Sunaraya Suzuki, this wonderful Zen master, your feelings, thoughts, and emotions They come in through the front door and out of the back door, and in the middle, don't serve them tea. And it's not that we ignore them, because if something happens now through the front door here and goes out of the back door, I can see it, I maybe smell it, I taste it, or whatever. I can hear it, but if I don't give the tea, then I can relax. And I don't get caught up. And imagine if two people are becoming ice cubes, well, then constantly, if a whole group becomes ice cubes, if a whole nation ice cubes. But if we all melt, then we all realize, in fact, we're all from the same body of water. Just like we have all these different waves. We have tiny waves, we've got huge waves, but they're all the same ocean. And they're so caught up, like, oh man. And unfortunately, this is what we do, because we mistake that the wave is something different than the sea. See that it's actually the same thing.
Exactly.
Therefore, we feel so separate. We feel so separate from other people. We feel lonely. We feel frustrated. We feel unsupported. But when we realize that we are right now 100% the universe, it's interesting if you really think of course, we need to practice to realize that we're it now. But not that, oh, we're going to practice and in 5 years' time I'm 50%, and in 10 years' time I'm 80%. Oh, and then I did something crappy, I go back to 30%. No, in reality, we're already 100% the universe. And we touch it all the time, 24 hours a day. And we feel so disconnected from it. We're breathing it in. It goes in every single cell. Everything is into. And yet there is something called Frans. I find it very interesting, and I think this is why when we do these practices, particularly when we follow the right pattern, and we do it again and again and again and again. I call it a recipe. If we follow the right recipe, we get the right result. Feel this in a fire or this whatever, and I go like, okay, like show me what you're doing, and then they're breathing up so high. But this is actually great, because I love this when these things happen. We can freak out, or when we like ice cubes, we get like, but okay, we go with the flow, because when we feel more this flowing water, then we can go with the flow. When we're an ice cube, constantly hitting things, constantly getting stuck. But when we can go with the flow, it's so much easier. Oh, okay, a little hiccup, maybe we continue, maybe not.
We were talking about, like how in a lot of, different, maybe like a different perspective from that of these teachings of Reiki, which really are the teachings of infinity, which is so much of the Buddhist tradition as well, and Taoism, teachings of infinity, of this cross point of infinity and this like helical movement of upward and downward. So much of what people might think is spirituality is going up and out. But there's just this like funnel of like tightness, and then we just like go up, and now we're just up here. And these like different terms, I don't even want to say them because they don't even resonate when I say them. But for us, it really is about down and in as well. And that is so important, this piece of embodiment. And this is, what the yogic teachings are about as well, is that you are in this physical vessel, and we cannot bypass that. So this is why we have to harmonize our body and our breath and our speech and our mind, and to actually, position ourselves with the healthy movement of chi. And that's what healing is in and of its utmost essence, is we're just positioning our body, our heart, and our mind to receive the wisdom of our spirit. That is Reiki, right? And so that we can be these vessels of that light and allow it to permeate us and to shine from us, because we are it.
I mean, it's I think it's sometimes it is where we I call it enheadment instead of embodiment.
Enheadment.
And like it's not about enheadment. Also, when we get too intellectual about these teachings, it's the same thing, because then we get so caught up in the intellectual side, or sometimes within the system of Reiki, is
Yeah.
the historical side, and we get so caught up on it that
Yeah.
we forget actually that it's about embodiment. And this is, I love the precept so much, is this embodiment. Mikasui said today is right now. What is here right now? The body. Yeah? We also see in the precepts a sentence called Shinshin Kaizen, mind body harmony. What is right here? The body is right here. Most of the time, the mind is in the past, get so caught up in the future, and then we get caught up in the present moment. And but when we're that mind body harmony, or sometimes, of course, mind body and speech or energy or breath, whatever, Sanmitsu, we can really be embodiment practices. And this is so important. Specifically, we're live on Instagram, but we're so busy with these telephones, with the laptop, constantly asking why, how, this, we're so in our head that we get to embody it. I see it with a lot of kids. I had a kid visiting for days, constantly on this phone, like all the time. I remember as a kid, we would go outside, kick a ball, feel the body, climb a tree, fall out of the tree, kiss the girl or the boy or whatever you were doing, and we rumble around. And nowadays, we're just so disconnected from this body, so that I think almost in a way we have to learn how to be in our body again.
Yes, absolutely. And I think even the word embodiment has been used so interestingly. I feel like people don't even understand what that means. And at a certain point, it's like, okay, you have to stop this impediment of like trying to even understand what it is and just do it and just come into a practice. And just to start with a simple practice, just Joshin Kokyoho, becoming aware of the breath in the hara.
Yeah.
How simple that is. And you just create spaciousness around that experience. Maybe you say, okay, I'm going to just put aside 20 minutes and I'm just going to sit with myself, bring my hands into Gasho, remember the light in me, the true essence of who I am, bow to my essence, release my palms, and just come into presence and breathe this light inside and around me and notice that it is one. How simple that is, and me explaining that with so many words maybe doesn't sound so simple, but it is. It's so simple. And just creating spaciousness around that, even for just a few minutes, you will touch that point. There will be a shift, and you will feel lighter and brighter and more clear. And how tangible that is, how accessible that is. It can happen so quickly that you notice this shift, and you just come into presence, be with what is. This is also why I love Zazen. It's, the practice of just sitting, just being with what is. And then the more that you practice, okay, what is there? Vastness, open spaciousness, light, infinity. The whole spectrum of life is right here. How amazing is that? And then you notice you have infinite capacity to hold all of it.
Often as a glass, we think this is France, and the inside is very different than the outside. But as soon as I break this glass, this space inside outside is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Or I have really big doors, and now the space inside looks very different than the space outside. If I open the doors, the space inside outside mingles instantly. There is not even a split moment. It's just, and this is the same. What is this? Boundaries again is I, me, mine.
Yes, exactly.
It's caught up in this sometimes.
Yeah.
I hear people, they say, "Oh, I'm depleting my energy," and then I go like, "What is your energy?" "Yeah, it is my energy." I said, "Well, explain it to me." And they go like, "Yeah, it's just my energy." They can't explain it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Where does my energy comes from? It's my energy. No, it comes from the food you eat, right? It comes from the water you drink, because if you drink no water, you'll be dead. So your energy also comes from water, comes from the air you're breathing, comes from the earth you're standing on, comes from the sun.
Yeah.
Energy. This is just an illusion we have in our head. It's an accumulation of different things. I come in contact with, and I am all the time. And so when we start to realize this, then well, this is my energy. And if that can soften, oh, man, we feel so more free, so much less protected. Oh, this is mine, this is I, this is me, this is because as soon as there's an I and a me, there's also a you, and now the trouble starts. You did me, and then oh my goodness.
It's so interesting you saying the word accumulations, because it's like sometimes I say the word stagnation or density, and we're dissolving density and stagnation, clearing it through the body, through the conduction of water and fire. But it's really, so much of it is just accumulation. And then you just choose to not attach to it. And the more that you come into your own energy cultivation, those accumulations, they just break up on their own. There's nothing that we have to do. We just be with it. And the intelligent energy moving through us, it breaks it apart on its own. It dissolves on its own. And this is, I mean, I'm very interested in astrology and the energetics that we're in right now. And so much of what's occurring now through the celestial bodies is this dissolution of untruths. This is just so much of Saturn and Aries retrograde, and just so much of what's happening right now is that there's this dissolving of that which is not coming with us. And it is felt so clearly. And the more that we also support ourselves in our own practices, even if it's just being aware of our thoughts in our mind, but also taking time to be in our devotion, to connect to our breath and our body in that embodiment, we support that process taking place of dissolving these accumulations that are never ours. What does ours even mean, right?
Well,
like, what is that? Yeah. And just from like, as a healing arts practitioner, I'm always encouraging my clients and students to stop attaching with whatever they think their problem is, of saying, I have PTSD, or I have, PCOS, like, I have this condition. Okay, how about we reframe that and say it in a way where I am currently in the process of dissolving the symptoms of this condition, rather than saying, I have this, or I am depressed, I am anxious. Why are you like there? What? Like, that's so unnecessary. And this creates more accumulation. So saying, I am a depressed person. Wow, really? Is that what you want to take in right now?
Yeah, the more I say to myself, for example, very simple, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. What do you get? You get tired. So water grows. And so we have a choice. But if we don't notice that we constantly saying these things to ourselves. So first of all, we need to notice what actually is going on in my mind, in my body, in my energy. And the more I notice it, oh, I'm repeating the same story again and again and again and again. No wonder I feel tired all the time, right? Just repeat the same story.
Yes. And this attachment to the past as well. This is what the precepts help us to remember. Part of the precepts, really what it's saying is be present, no anger, no worry, because it takes you out of the present. Anger puts you in the past, worry puts you into the future. So just coming into coherence with the now is, okay, I had a poor night's sleep last night. Like, this would be like a less evolved way of saying my current lived experience. Okay, and like, the show goes on. I'm very tough love. Like, my friends and my family, they know this. It's like, I didn't sleep well last night. And then you're like huffing and puffing, like, I'm tired and I'm thirsty. And okay, let's be solution oriented and move forward in a way where we actually just like take the next step to feel well and to feel good and embodied and shining. That's really the way to move forward, not of like, this happened a few hours ago. Now I'm going to let that completely just like color everything going forward. And a lot of what we have discussed, you and I, Frans, in just understanding healing is Reiki teaches us what is occurring now is what is valuable. So if you're constantly identifying with the old story of your trauma, your past, okay, but is it happening right now? No.
Like, right now. It's not happening right now.
It's not happening right now. How liberating that is. I keep saying the word liberation, but just the more that we talk about open spaciousness, that is the liberation. It really, really is. And how simple and profound that is. Yeah. Amazing. Well, on that note, I think it would be really beautiful to sit in that frequency a little bit together. and to tune into the field and the energy of this current moment. If there's a certain practice, there's so many beautiful Reiki rituals that we can practice. But if there's anything that you feel is resonant for us today, maybe we could do a little practice for 10 minutes or so and see if they're going to join us.
Okay, so and this is, I think, also why it's sometimes really also important in our practice to train with eyes open, because the eyes open and we are more anchored to this physical reality in a way, but it's right here. We're not drifting off into something. And if I want my practice in my daily life, I also need to have my eyes open, because I'm walking around in town like this. So, okay.
Wait, I just got a notification on my phone that Instagram is going to close in 5 minutes. I have like the timer. So I have to, so if I drop out, it's because of that. But we can just have it be shorter.
Okay.
But it might not. If I drop out, that's what it is. But hopefully I can just put it away. I'm not able to So let's just see.
Nice few deep breaths. Use your diaphragm, feel that core below your belly button. And notice the spaciousness inside your physical body. Feels light and luminous and spacious at the same time. And then notice the spaciousness in the room you're sitting. And almost like a balloon, feel that the boundary between the inside spaciousness and outside spaciousness, like popping a balloon. And just rest in that open spaciousness, not spaced out. No need to do anything, just be that open space. Realize your innate wholeness. No matter if you have an illness or tired or sick or confused, just recognize this open space. Stay grounded in your body, not spaced out. Your whole physical body. We feel it, and yet it's spacious. A few deep breaths and place your hands physically below your belly button, your core, your center. Gently move your body, a few breaths. Even if we finish this meditation between brackets, that spaciousness is still there, that openness is still there. So we can talk, walk, carry out any mundane task from this open space. Good. And Instagram is still working?
Yeah, it's still working. Beautiful. Thank you.
So sometimes also I think when we talk about meditation, we first of all we want to do half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. But I think if many moments during the day we weave this open spaciousness throughout our day. And again, I remember not spaced out, but open, really in the body. Then we're weaving it through all we do.
Yes. Yes. So beautiful the way you're describing this. And I just love when you say the word luminosity. Whenever I meditate with you and you say the word luminosity, it just reverberates so deeply in my being and my entire field, because it is so felt. Like that really is the experience. And when you think of luminosity, it's this like glowing light, this like shimmering, beautiful vastness.
Yeah.
And that is what we are.
And we can sprinkle it everywhere.
We sprinkle it everywhere. Exactly. Just shimmering dust, beauty everywhere. Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we are. That's the point. That's why we have a spiritual cultivation practice to begin with. I always remind my students of this too, is, they talk about, family things or something coming out. It's like, well, this is what it's for, isn't it? To show up in that frequency there too. That's what it's for. Yeah, that's why we do this. It's not just to be like, oh, more beautiful and advanced. No, it's just so that we can really bring that into everything that we do. That's how we know our practice is even doing anything for us to begin with, for everyone.
Most important element, that we can actually bring it in our daily life, no matter we go shopping, at our work, with our family, with our friends. Yeah, and that's why we practice.
Yeah, so important, and just such an honor always to be in practice with you and in your group, and Shimpiden with you, and just all of your teachings. I'm so grateful.
Good. Always exciting.
Yeah. And I'm excited for more to come and to bring you back to Iceland. And
yes, sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, we have lots of amazing times ahead of us, and excited for everything.
Good. Well, good to see you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, talk to you very soon. And yeah, this is a 2-part series. So if you're watching this video, know that there's another video that came before. So yeah, part 1, this is part 2. Yeah.
Come.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Bye.